Coming up, the midterm elections come to an end. Find out what's changed.
Polo kicks off their first year as a UNT sport.
And find out how UNT could change students' tuition rates.
From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.
The 2018 midterm elections came to a close Tuesday night with most of Denton County remaining Republican. I'm Alex Spicer.
And I'm Kevin Bond. Texas Democrats were able to make a few seats in the midterm election, but a majority of court seats will stay red in Denton County. Republican incumbent Senator Ted Cruz was able to defend off Democrat challenger from Beto O'Rourke. The margin was narrow, 3%. Republicans will oversee the Justice of Peace and Commissioners Courts locally. Meanwhile, incumbent Republican Michael Burgess was re-elected for an 8th term in Congress. He was running against Democrat Lindsey Fagan for the 26th congressional seat. Burgess secured 59% of the vote, while his opponent only got 39%. He says he tried to keep harsh rhetoric out of his campaign.
I've tried to, the last few weeks of the campaign, keep everything very positive. I've spent more money on radio commercials than I've ever spent before, but it's positive.
Burgess was first elected to Congress in 2002. In March, he won the primary election against his challenger with 77% of the vote.
After voters approved a $737 million bond to make plans replace a current elementary with a new one, Louisville ISD is proposing to rezone some school boundaries. Plans were made to build a new elementary campus on Mill Street. It replaces the one on College Street. The district plans to leave 4 elementary schools where they are and adjust boundaries before new housing developments are complete. Boundary discussions are ongoing and will be shared with the community this month. Despite an ongoing trend of SUV sales outperforming sedan sales, Plano-based automaker Toyota says there is still a need for passenger cars. NT Daily's Jason Middlebrooks is live in Plano at Toyota's North America headquarters.
With Ford ending production on most of their vehicle lineup in 2020, and General Motors considering doing the same, Toyota says the passenger car is not the end of passenger car.
A new Toyota pickup truck rolls off at its San Antonio assembly line every 60 seconds. The Plano-based automaker knows that trucks are a big deal for Texans, but they make cars for drivers globally.
So the subcompact segment of passenger car is also a very strong demand market. We're going to hold true with Corolla. It's our #1 selling vehicle globally.
The SUV and pickup truck segments are taking over the American auto market. So much so that in April, Ford announced it would end production of the company's sedan models, leaving the Mustang as its only passenger car. There are also rumors of General Motors ending production of its sedans in 2020.
1 in every 2 full-size SUV is a Chevrolet, and there's thousands of them in the country. The #1 consumer, which is really interesting in full-size SUVs, is actually the state of Texas. So the market is definitely changing.
Toyota is sticking with their passenger car lineup. This, despite Bloomberg reporting the cost of a Toyota Camry could increase by $1,800 due to the steel tariffs imposed by the Trump administration.
Toyota is the #1 retail brand, 6th straight year. So we want to be a full lineup manufacturer. While there's about 16.8 or 17 million vehicles sold each year, and the industry is shifting towards more light trucks and SUVs, it still leaves 30% of the customers who are requesting passenger cars.
Despite the improvements in fuel economy and modern SUVs, sedans will stick around for time to come. Jason Middlebrooks, NT Daily News.
Veterans Day is on November 11th. It's officially being observed Monday, November 12th, and the Denton Square is hosting a Veterans Day celebration. Veterans associations across the country will observe 100 years since the ending of World War I. The public is invited to honor veterans and attend the event at Monday morning at 11. For more information, contact the Denton County Veterans Service Office.
Meanwhile, Mayor Chris Watts has set a goal to end veteran homelessness in Denton by 2020. Causes of homelessness can vary greatly, but I was able to speak with 2 individuals with insight on the issues affecting our servicemen and women when they finally make it home.
Veterans Day is a time to honor those who have served, but some veterans are in need of service. The Denton County Homeless Coalition says almost 10% of the county's homeless population served in the military. Their median service period? 7 years. United Way of Denton Director of Homeless Initiatives, Courtney Cross, says many veterans often just soldier on.
Veterans are trained to, do their work and, complete their assignments and not ask questions and not ask for help.
James Davenport is director of UNT's Student Veteran Services. He is a veteran of over 20 years in the U.S. Army and says there is more to it than just not wanting to ask for help.
The whole time I was in the military, they'd tell you go get help. But unofficially, now you got the scarlet letter stamped on your forehead that you're weak. You can't afford to be weak in the military. Oh yeah, by the way, is if it's a substance abuse problem, you're going to lose your clearance level.
Extra flag around Denton Square for Monday's celebrations. And according to Cross, a solid foundation has been laid to help those who really need it now and in the future.
I am optimistic because we've come really far as a community. And like I said, this initiative started way before me, and it will carry on, you know, if and when I move on as well. Denton is a very generous community. There are very passionate people here who want to be a part of the solution.
While the causes of homelessness can vary, both Davenport and Cross want homelessness ended.
For more information or to donate to the Homelessness Initiative in Denton County, visit unitedwaydenton.com/homelessness.
Coming up, we'll tell you which states we're still waiting on for midterm election results.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
A mass shooting broke out late Wednesday night at Borderline Bar in Thousand Oaks, California. 12 people, including a police officer, were shot and killed, with many more wounded. The gunman has been identified as 28-year-old Ian David Long, a Marine veteran. He was armed with a .45 caliber Glock and shot his way into the bar crowded with college students for a college country night. Although some people have been accounted for, many have not. Pepperdine University said some of its students were believed to have been at the bar and are working to identify and provide support to those students.
The national midterm election came to a close on Tuesday night with most of the votes tallied, but Georgia and Florida are still lingering on results. Georgia's Brian Kemp resigned as Secretary of State and is claiming victory over Democratic opponent Stacey Abrams. The Abrams campaign says it does not accept Kemp's declaration of victory and will continue to fight until all outstanding votes are counted. In Florida, the Senate race is heading towards a recount as margins come closer to 0.25%, which could mean a hand recount. The governor's race was conceded on Tuesday, but it turns out there were many outstanding ballots left. The margins have narrowed to 0.5% and will be moving for a recount.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg was hospitalized on Thursday after she fell in her office on Wednesday night. The 85-year-old Supreme Court justice fractured 3 ribs after getting checked. If Ginsburg resigns due to health complications, it could open up a spot for another Supreme Court nominee by President Donald Trump. Members of Congress are already wishing her a speedy recovery.
The day after the midterm elections, President Trump held a news conference, then later forced the resignation of a top cabinet member. The potential fate of special counsel Robert Mueller's probe alarming Democrats who have to wait until January to take control of the House. Karen Kafa reports from Washington.
Ohio. President Trump changing the topic from the Democrats' midterm House victory. The president announcing via Twitter Wednesday afternoon that Jeff Sessions is out as Attorney General. Capitol Hill Democrats immediately worried about what that means for special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation.
It would create a constitutional crisis if this were a prelude to ending or greatly limiting the Mueller investigation.
The move, not a surprise. The president has been at odds with his attorney general since Sessions recused himself from the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. The president bypassing Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and tapping Matthew Whitaker, Sessions' chief of staff, as interim attorney general. Whitaker had been critical of the Mueller probe before joining the DOJ and will now oversee the investigation. The White House downplaying the concerns of Democrats.
He's done a fabulous job, really, and I think as a former U.S. attorney, he understands all the business that's before the Department of Justice.
News of the Sessions firing came after a contentious news conference in which Trump talked up his party's midterm showing.
Last night, the Republican Party defied history to expand our Senate majority while significantly beating expectations in the House for the midterm and midterm year.
The Senate will have to confirm the eventual permanent Attorney General nominee.
Nationwide protests have been triggered by the Sessions firing. The Mueller Protection Rapid Response and MoveOn.org have sent alerts for protests all over the country. The Denton Square protests start at 5 on Thursday. It was a news conference that left even veteran Trump watchers astonished, taken aback by the back and forth with reporters. CNN's Jeannie Moose reports.
President, when it comes to ranking the craziest press conferences, this one was nothing to sniff at.
Okay, just sit down, please. Sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you. Excuse me, I'm not responding to you. I'm talking to this gentleman. Will you please sit down?
Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat. There was plenty of boat rocking at this news conference.
It's such a hostile media. It's so sad. You rudely interrupted him. You are not called on.
Some called it a meltdown. Comparing it with the witch's meltdown in The Wizard of Oz, the most confrontational moment came when CNN's Jim Acosta held on to the mic and a mini tug of war with a Trump staffer ensued.
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President.
That's enough.
Whereupon the president
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President,
proceeded to walk away from the podium, but not for long. And when NBC's Peter Alexander defended Acosta,
he's a diligent reporter who busts.
Well, I'm not a big fan of yours either, so
I understand.
To be honest.
Wolf Blitzer has seen a lot of press conferences, but
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
And in between sparring with the press, the president expressed his admiration for Oprah.
Who I like. I don't know if she likes me anymore, but that's okay. She used to.
And in what felt a little like a public marriage proposal, the president answered this question with one of his own.
Will the vice president be your running mate in 2020?
Mike, will you be my running mate? Will you? Thank you. Okay, good. The answer is yes.
The news conference ended with a call for harmony.
Hopefully the tone can get a lot better, and I really believe it begins with the media.
But first, they better...
Sit down, please. Sit down.
Jeannie Moose, CNN.
Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat.
New York.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Professional journalism organizations like the White House Correspondents Association are condemning the revocation of Acosta's press pass.
UNT sports teams are kicking their way through the season. Find out which team is advancing after an overtime victory.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. big time. Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
UNT's women's soccer team is headed back to the NCAA tournament. The Conference USA team is making its way to the tournament for the third time in a row in the last 4 years. After defeating Southern Mississippi in overtime on Sunday, the team will play Texas A&M Friday night at 7 in their first round.
Friday night, the last surviving volleyball team from Denton County takes on possibly its toughest matchup of the postseason. With its season on the line, NT Daily's Benjamin Savallo takes us to Sanger High School.
Sanger opened the UIL Conference 4A tournament with a win over Roosevelt before another win over Ranch View. On Tuesday, the team took on Kennedale, who forced a fifth set after taking the first and fourth sets.
Because it even surprised me because second and third set we ran away with. I definitely didn't expect what happened in the fourth set where the roles kind of reversed and they looked like the experienced team and we looked like the young ones freaking out. So it definitely was. Heading into that fifth set, I had confidence.
Sanger held off the Wildcats 15-9 in the final set, eliminating Kennedale and extending its season another game. But the Indians have their work cut out for them Friday against a rolling Farmersville team. Farmersville went undefeated in their district and is riding a 21-game win streak. But Sanger's coach is not focused on his opponent's streak, but his team's why.
We've talked a lot about what is their reason. We called it, what is your why? Why do you do this? Why do you play volleyball? Why do you want to win this? Just what is your motivation for going out there and giving your best effort? Some of them are doing it for family. Some of them are doing it for, they want their name on a banner. Set history for, no Sanger, as far as we can find in the records, no Sanger teams made it past the regional semis. So if we win Friday, this is in theory the best team in the history of the school.
This experienced Sanger squad travels to Mesquite Poteet for this fourth-round matchup with the Farmers, looking to be the first team in program history to advance to the fifth round. I'm Benjamin Savallo, NT Daily News.
First serve of the match between these two teams takes place Friday night at Mesquite Poteet High School at 8 o'clock. Both teams are fighting to extend their season at least one more game.
When you hear polo, you may think of clothes or cologne, but the sport is actually making inroads at UNT. NT Daily's Martez Masel's Huff tells us more.
The school's polo team is brand new. Practices just started this semester, but they're about to play a powerhouse team this Friday. The team is headed to the University of Virginia to play an exhibition game.
We've kind of seeded ourselves high, and our expectations are high, and we'll see how it goes. I've played against quite a few of them a number of times, so I know their playing style, and I know kind of what they're going to be wanting to do with us. And I think we're going to go into it with a physical mindset, and we're going to get on them pretty quick and try to keep them from playing their game. We want to play our game.
UNT's polo players practice and play 30 minutes away on a 100-acre ranch. The team knows that playing 3 versus 3 against UVA will take commitment and dedication to their training, as well as becoming one with their horses.
Well, last night we came out at 8 o'clock at night, and we came and turned the lights on, and we practiced all night, and we're going to practice every day until Friday. We play UV on Friday, and so we're just trying to get, as comfortable as possible.
UNT's polo coach, a former professional player himself, knows that being in an arena the same size as one football field will have a major impact on the players. It will take more than having the best horses and scoring goals to compete with the best.
When you're at this level, it almost becomes a mental game. You have to be physically fit, really fit. As Jimmy Johnson famously said of the Dallas Cowboys, fatigue will make a coward of you.
The team wants to be the best, and this match will be the measuring stick on their success in the future. Martez Maselshuff, NT Daily News.
You can see the UNT Men's Polo Club in action against Colorado State University this Saturday afternoon at 1 at the Prestonwood Polo Club.
UNT's women's and men's basketball teams are off to a great start this season. Both teams are undefeated after their first game, beating Angelo State and Mid-American Christian University. The next women's games will be held at home on November 12th versus University of Texas. Men's basketball will be playing November 9th against Humboldt State in Honolulu. While the basketball season is kicking off, UNT football is coming to an end. Their next game will be against Old Dominion on Saturday in Virginia.
UNT can make it difficult for some students to afford college. Find out why up next.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
On Tuesday, UNT held its second public hearing over proposed 3 possible tuition changes. NT Daily's Caroline Kane is here to tell us what's in store for students.
Well, graduate students could see a tuition hike, paying $25 more per credit hour by next fall. But some incoming freshmen and transfer students may end up paying less. The Board of Regents will consider a new Save and Soar tuition plan. If passed, the program goes into effect next fall. If students stay in school full-time, year-round, that means no summer breaks or winter breaks, housing and tuition costs go down significantly.
So Save and Soar is meant for encouraging students to have continuous enrollment. So they come in the fall, they stay in the spring, and they have the opportunity to take advantage of the new winter session, as well as attend the summer semester. We believe they can graduate timely, save money, and reduce potential loan debt.
A tuition increase across all graduate programs has been proposed. Robert Watling from UNT Academic Affairs says the extra money raised will be used to hire more faculty.
I think that what we're going to be looking at focusing on is on improving the classroom experience, primarily by reducing the student to faculty ratios. If you were to compare our student to faculty ratios with others across the state, I would submit that ours are higher. And so I think that by investing in additional faculty, we'll be able to move the needle to where we want to be.
You can find more information on all the possible new tuition changes at the UNT Student Financial Services webpage, or you can email your questions to tuition.hearing@unt.edu. Caroline Kane, NT Daily News.
Denton's oldest bar is getting a facelift. Rip Rock's Bar and Grill, located on Hickory Street, closed down this past July. But because of construction and planning delays, management says the bar won't reopen until early next year. Bar manager Cody Farmer says the changes include a wheelchair accessible ramp and an extended patio.
We're going to add an ADA accessible ramp, new bathrooms, including a gender neutral bathroom. We're expanding the bar along the back patio side and covering the back, what we call the beer garden, but it's like a back patio.
Rip Rock's renovations were originally expected to be completed by September, but due to the delays, the bar's doors won't open until 2019.
Denton's North Star Dragway is hosting another Friday night drag race. The races begin at 6 p.m. and continue through midnight. Anyone can race and all vehicles are welcome. Unlimited passes will be available beginning at 7. Don't forget, all tickets include a pick pass.
That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time for NT Daily News.